Hello guys, welcome to my channel Chess Orko. I am back after almost a while because I was busy in some tournaments which has ended like very badly. So this is going to be one of the toughest video of my channel because this is the most painful loss that I have had in the state championship. So let's start. I was playing against a 1150 rated player, Shomallo Haskell, one of the talented young player. I have played against him in the Tata Steel as well. We have a very complicated draw there. So I know his repertoire. He mainly plays e4 and I have prepared my favorite opening, that is Kerokan. So let's start. He starts the game with e4, c6, d4, d5 main line. E captures d5, c captures d5. The exchange Kerokan, nothing out of the ordinary. And here he plays the move bishop to d3, knight c6, still following opening theory. So here he plays c3, knight f6, bishop f4, and here I play bishop to g4 and queen to b3, attacking the pawn on b7. Now queen b6 is a very interesting move which I was considering. In this particular move I have spent already almost 15 to 20 minutes in the opening because it was a classical game, so we have a lot of time, so time is not really an issue. But you will see like how can I blunder after thinking about almost half an hour and still blunder. Okay, yeah, so I was considering only two moves, queen d7 and queen b6, and I decided to play queen d7, which after I came back home and analyzed with the engine was the best move. I didn't know, like I haven't prepared bishop f4 to be very honest. I have prepared knight f3, knight d2, all those lines, but I completely forgot about bishop f4 lines. So yeah, here my opponent plays knight to d2 and e6. Here my opponent plays h3, so bishop to h5. So the interesting point is I haven't had the score sheet available right now. So like, yeah, I was so angry at that moment. I just teared the score sheet up and throw it into the dustbin. I'm sorry about that, obviously. Whatever. So knight to f3, developing a piece. And here again I thought for almost 20 to 25 minutes because I was familiar with these positions, but I was not completely ready in this position. So I don't have a very strong preparation in these positions, so I have to go and over the board. I am already almost 40 minutes down on the clock. I have almost 47 minutes. My opponent have 1 hour and 25 minutes around. So okay, time pressure is not really huge. So I played bishop d6 after thinking about almost 20 to 25 minutes, and my opponent traded bishop captures d6, queen captures d6, and my opponent takes the bait with queen captures b7. That is the critical line that I was calculating, and I calculated short castle, rook a to b8, queen a6, bishop b5, some lines, bishop b5, there is rook b6, and there would be a lot of pressure for this sacrifice pawn. I will get a lot of counterplay on the b file, and which I got. I'll show you guys. So I spent almost 7 to 8 minutes on this move because I was debating on two moves, rook to b8 and short castle, and I decided to play short castle, and my opponent plays queen to a6, deliberately getting out of the dangerous b file because rook a b8 is already coming, which I played rook a to b8, attacking the b2 pawn. And here my opponent played a kind of a suboptimal move, I'd say queen to a3, which allowed me to trade off the queens and get a quite a pleasant endgame, pawn down endgame. But the pawns doesn't really matter after queen captures a3, b captures a3. The pawns on the a file is doubled, and I don't think the pawn advantage really felt. So I played rook to b2, getting the rook onto the nice second rank. My opponent simply short castles. So in this position I played rook f2 b8, and black has a very pleasant position, and actually being down a pawn doesn't really fail because of the doubled a pawns. And this is actually a pleasant endgame for black. Black is slightly better though down a pawn. So my opponent tries to trade off the rooks, rook f b1, and here I play bishop to g6. Bishop to g6 is not really a very good move. After I came back home I kinda remembered the game, so I was analyzing with the engine. Bishop captures f3 was necessary because if g captures f3, then again you have double f pawns and everything. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So according to the engine, bishop captures f3 is necessary because after knight captures f3, white has a less defender on the b1 square. So that is the good stuff, and we can get knight e4 in. So let's say knight e4, and already there is a lot of pressure on the c3 pawn. He has to give up this bishop, pawn takes, and if we give up this bishop, then already after pawn takes we can win win the rook on the b1 square, so you cannot take on e4, so there is a lot of pressure on the c3 pawn, rook c1, and that would be a completely better position, like almost minus 1 for black. So I kind of missed this idea. But I mean, bishop captures f3 is not really a very tough move to see. I should have seen it, but okay, it happens. It is kind of inaccuracy, but bishop g6, and my opponent takes, bishop captures g6, h captures g6, and still everything is fine. And here my opponent made another fatal mistake. He takes this rook, which is not really a good move, because of rook captures b2, my rook gets to the second rank, and it gets all active. And from here, I gone mental. My opponent plays rook to b1. First, on this move I calculated almost 30 minutes, almost, like I had around 47 minutes. I almost calculated for 25 to 30 minutes. I had my last 19-20 minutes left, and I calculated wrongly, and I blundered. Here I blundered. Rook captures a2 is not really a blunder. Rook b7, and now the simplest move, knight to e8, stopping rook c7 and any infiltration on the back rank, because the knight is covering all the squares. Both of these knights are covering all the important infiltrating square, and after knight e8, this position is completely better for black, if not winning. I mean, not really huge better, but slightly better, and I believe I can beat an 1100 or 1200 player in this position, because I believe my positional chess is quite strong, but my tactics is very weak. That's the problem. But here I completely misses the idea. I got too greedy, because I already have quite a low time, 15 minutes, but that's not an excuse. I take the responsibility of my mistakes, and here I played rook to a3, completely missing rook to c7, and like on the floor, the point is, I was calculating rook capture c3, and I think if he plays like this, knight e5, then we can play rook c2, and let's say knight f1 or something, we can even take on d4, and we are defending this rook and we will be saved. But here after rook c3, I played rook c3, and I completely resigned the game, because here white has a mate in 3, and I completely missed that, and I am very sorry about that, to myself, to my coach, to everyone who was like rooting for me. Like, I got so much angry, like I just get out of the hall, and yeah, like rook c8, the point is rook c8 check, king h8, knight g5 check, king h6, knight f7. That is just a very easy checkmate to spot, which I should have done, but okay, I was a moron, I was an idiot. What can I do about it? This is just the point. Rook capture h7, that's a brilliant checkmate. So after rook capture c3, he plays rook to c8, and I was calculating knight e5, but he plays rook to c8 check, and I resigned in this position, and I teared the score sheet after taking it from him. I was so angry, I didn't even talk to the opponent. So like, yeah, I kind of messed up my etiquettes there, my sportsmanships, but sometimes like this kind of blunders just throw you off. And the next match which I had around 2 hours after this match, I messed up in the same way, because I was so much angry about this match. So that's what happens when you have so much tough of a game. I should have like at least get a draw out of it. So this is the most painful game I have had in this event. So I hope you guys liked it and learned something, not to blunder like me, and improve your chess. So like, share and subscribe. Goodbye guys.